Phil Heath at the 2013 Mr. Olympia versus Víctor Martínez at the 2007 Mr. Olympia. This is my tribute to the underrated, uncrowned Mr. Olympia Víctor Martínez. I have furred him against Ronnie and Brandon Curry so far, and it's time to fur him against Phil at the 2013 Mr. Olympia, where in my opinion he presented the best version we have ever seen. The front double biceps shows that Víctor has the wider chest and lats, which give him the more impressive V-taper. Phil, however, has the better conditioning overall, and the better ripped and separated arms and the more massive forearms. They both have massive and ripped quads regardless of the difference in photos measurements. I think Víctor looks more proportional with his wider structure, but the conditioning, the definition, and the separation go to Phil. Víctor has the wider lats, and we will see that in the rear lat spread, but I do not like his pose. Phil, on the other hand, does not have the wide structure that would help him hitting an impressive pose, but I like the shape of his shoulders. He has the fullness, the roundedness, and the conditioning, while Víctor has the wider lats, so it could go either way depending on the eye of the beholder. They both hit an impressive side chest pose. Although Phil is known for having the rounded and the bubble-shaped chest, shoulders, and arms, which add to the intimidation of his pose, Víctor looks phenomenal and pleasant to the eye with his defined and ripped muscles that flow perfectly. Phil, in my opinion, is better conditioned, and it shows in the glute striations, and his hamstrings flow better in this pose. If Víctor managed to hold his own in the front and the side poses, Phil would dominate in the back double biceps. They both have an impressive biceps peak, but Phil's arms flow better, and he has the more massive and rounded shoulders, as we will see in the most muscular. Phil's 3D back looks fuller and packs more muscles. His traps are more massive and better ripped. Víctor is well conditioned, but does not show the fullness and the density of Phil's back. They both have ripped hamstrings and glutes, but Phil has the better calves. The rear lat spread shows that Víctor has the wider lats, but Phil looks better ripped and conditioned. Notice Phil's massive traps, which extend from his neck towards his lower back, forming what looks like an armor. Notice the density and the definition of his rear delts and lats. They both have ripped lower back, hamstrings, and glutes, but Phil has the better calves. Again, take some time to behold the phenomenal level of conditioning in their hamstrings area. Phil has always rivaled those who were wider from the back, such as Big Ramy and Dennis Wolf, and outclassed them with his insane conditioning. Although Víctor does not have Phil's conditioning in the lats area, the conditioning of his hamstrings and the inhuman size of his thighs could give him more points. After all, it all depends on the eye of the beholder. Phil is known for having among the best triceps in this era, and only rivaled by those of Rolly Winkler. Shockingly enough, though, Víctor holds his own well. Phil has the more massive and striated triceps, but Víctor also has well-defined and ripped triceps. They both have massive and ripped chest, shoulders, and tight midsection, and they both show great conditioning with visible striations in the lower section. The abs and thighs shows that Víctor has the more symmetrical and aesthetic six-pack abs. Phil that year still had tight midsection, before the troubles with the bloated stomach started in 2014 and lasted until it cost him the title last year. They both have massive and ripped quads, but Víctor would win this pose. Although Víctor hits an impressive most muscular pose, showing superior size, conditioning, and proportions, Phil looks inhuman. He is known for hitting among the most impressive, most muscular poses of all time, and only rivaled by the likes of Rolly Winkler, Ronnie, and Kevin Levrone in their prime. Now, regardless of the photo's measurements, notice the size, the density, and the roundedness of Phil's shoulders, phenomenal arms, and forearms. I like Victor's most muscular with the hands on his thighs. Notice the proportions and the symmetry he shows, along with the incredible conditioning with visible striations in the chest area. I do not think that Phil looks that proportional with his oversized shoulders and smaller chest, but he still shows inhuman size, density, and conditioning with his rounded shape muscles that give him this cartoonish look. The crab most muscular shows that Victor has the wider chest, but Phil has the more massive and the better ripped and conditioned chest, shoulders, and arms. They both have powerful traps with different shapes. Notice the separation in Phil's chest along with the visible striations. He looks harder and more ripped due to the superior conditioning. Aesthetics-wise, Victor looks more proportional, but Phil looks inhuman. With the phenomenal combination of size and conditioning he presented that year. Phil would win this matchup. It's true that he does not have the best proportions out there, but the size, the density, and the superior conditioning he presented, along with his powerful 3D back, inhuman shoulders, arms, and quads, made him truly unbeatable in his prime. In fact, Phil maintained the incredible conditioning even in 2018, but he lost the title because he underestimated the problem of the bloated stomach. Although it was implied that the IFBB was not going to overlook the issue anymore, after Arnold severely criticized the bodybuilders who have this issue. Let me know what you think about this matchup, and don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching and have a nice one.